I never thought a simple family barbecue would shatter everything I'd built my life around. The sun was dipping low over the rolling hills of our Montana ranch, casting golden hues across the wooden picnic tables laden with ribs, corn on the cob, and Mom's famous apple pie. But as Dad slapped that thick envelope down between the plates, his voice gravelly from years of barking orders, I felt the ground shift beneath me. Sign this, Emily, or you're done here. His words hung in the air like smoke from the grill, and, in that moment, the war I'd been avoiding my whole life ignited. My name is Emily Carter, and I've spent 28 years proving myself on this land that my family calls home. The Carter Ranch isn't just dirt and cattle, it's a sprawling agribusiness empire in the heart of the American West, blending old-school ranching with cutting-edge biotech for sustainable farming. We'd pioneered drought-resistant crops and eco-friendly pesticides that fed half the Midwest. I'd poured my soul into it, earning my agronomy degree from UC Davis and an MBA from Stanford, turning our operations green while Dad clung to the old ways. But that evening, as the crickets started their chorus, I realized none of it mattered to him. The setup felt off from the start. Mom had insisted we all gather for her 55th, mandatory, she said, with that tight smile she'd mastered over decades of smoothing Dad's rough edges. John Carter, my father, sat at the head like always, his weathered face etched from sun and strategy, nursing a Coors Light. My half-brother, Travis, slouched nearby, fiddling with his phone, his entitlement as thick as the Montana fog. He'd never dirted his hands like I had, preferring Vegas weekends over crop rotations. I was midway through my steak when Dad reached into his battered leather satchel, the one that had seen boardroom battles and billion-dollar deals. Emily, he said, his tone flipping from folksy to corporate sharp. Time to talk about your role in the family business. My knife paused. After 8 years of 14-hour days, after securing that partnership with agri-tech innovations that boosted our yields by 30%, this was how he repaid me? The envelope slid my way, heavy with betrayal. Inside was a 40-page voluntary relinquishment agreement. Legal speak for, give up your 20% stake in Carter AgriBio for a measly $10 million payout. My shares? Worth over $200 million easy. Especially with the IPO looming. This can't be real, I muttered. My voice steady, but my gut twisting like barbed wire. It's for the company's future, Dad replied, his blue eyes, mirrors of mine, turning icy. The board thinks multiple family stakes complicate things pre-IPO. Too much drama. Drama? I choked back a bitter laugh. You mean a daughter who actually knows biotech might eclipse Travis's path to the top? Travis glanced up,
smirking.
Come on.
Eminencia.
Don't drag this out. You'll be set.
Set.
Like a forgotten tool in the barn. I shoved the papers back. I expanded our Pacific Northwest markets. I have degrees that make me qualified. I've been here since I was 16, testing soil samples while Travis wrecked ATVs. That's enough, Dad snapped, his fist thumping the table, drawing stares from the ranch, hands lingering nearby. Mom chimed in softly. Emily, honey, let's not ruin the evening. Think of the family image. That's when it hit me, this wasn't business. It was erasure. Rewriting the Carter story with Travis as the sole heir. He'd just finished some online exec course, primed for the spotlight, while I developed our breakthrough pest-resistant wheat strain. You've planned this, I said, scanning their faces. Mom's birthday? Just a stage. Sign it, Dad commanded. Or you're fired tomorrow.
No severance.
No nothing. I stood, the wooden bench, scraping dirt, and grabbed the contract. I'll have my lawyer look it over. Nothing to look at, he growled. Sign or pack up. Walking to my truck. Their low chuckles echoing. Rage boiled inside me. They thought I'd fold. Like always. But no more. In my cabin that night. The weight pressed on my chest. Why now? Why this ambush? My mind raced through decades of slights. Each one a thorn in my heart. Why did I always swallow the pain? Was it loyalty? Or fear of losing the only family I had? At 7, I'd won the state fair with a project on soil microbes, youngest ever in Montana. But at breakfast, my ribbon got shoved in a drawer while Travis's rodeo buckle shone on the mantel. Girls shouldn't brag, Mom had whispered. The pattern deepened, my summa cum laude from Davis ignored for a board meeting, while Travis's C-average business degree got a blowout party. My agri-tech deal? Credited to him in the press. He needs the cred, Dad said. You've got plenty. My green initiative, cutting chemical runoff by 40%, shot down as risky, only for Travis to push old-school expansion and snag the budget. Emails, reviews, minutes, all documented my erasure. Innovative but lacks command presence. One said, code for not being the son. Mom's jabs about my single life stung deeper. Travis's wife knows how to balance. Balance meant shopping sprees on company cards. By midnight, digging through files, I saw the bigger picture. The IPO valued us at $12 billion, my stake, $2.4 billion post-float. The $10 million? Theft. But urgency screamed fraud. Something hidden. I called Alex Rivera, our ex-CFO. Fired for differences. He answered quick. Emily. Figured you'd call. You knew. Suspected. Your dad doesn't axe CFOs lightly. We met at a 24-hour diner in Billings. Paranoia gnawing at me. Turn off your phone, he said. Over coffee. He revealed manipulated trial data for our new crop enhancer, efficacy inflated from 30% to 78%. Bearing side effects. Offshore accounts siphoned $300 million. They're prepping to bail post-IPO, he whispered. Patience, farmers relying on our seeds, would suffer when truth hit. My heart ached, not just anger, but grief for the legacy tainted. Why couldn't Dad see me? Was I forever the mistake? The daughter from his first marriage? We can expose it, Alex said, handing a drive. Bylaws allowed fraud-based removal. With allies, I could flip the board. As I drove home, shadows felt alive. Was I ready to destroy my blood for justice? The internal storm raged, loyalty versus truth. But silence meant complicity, and that I couldn't bear. The next morning, dawn broke over the ranch like a false promise, the golden light mocking the darkness churning inside me. I hadn't slept, my mind a whirlwind of doubt and determination. Why did every victory feel like a loss? Why did proving myself always cost pieces of my soul? Coffee in hand, I pored over Alex's files, cross-referencing with public records.
Se vend-il ces violations?
A dozen EPA breaches, enough to bury Carter AgriBio if exposed wrong. But right? It could save it. At 8 a.m., I called journalist Lena Torres, who'd been sniffing around our operations for years. Emily Carter? About time. Her voice was sharp.
No nonsense.
How'd you know? Sources. Your dad's ranch hand talks after a few beers. We met at a coffee shop in Bozeman, her eyes scanning for tales. I've got walls of stonewalling. But with insider proof, I slid the drive. Manipulated data. Siphoned funds. They're rigging the IPO. Her whistle was low. This could topple empires.
But you?
Family.
Family.
The word twisted like a knife. Flashbacks assaulted me. Dad's proud grin at Travis's Little League games. Absent from my science fairs. Mom's gentle pushes toward feminine roles. Away from the labs. Was I jealous? Or just starved for equity? They're erasing me, I confessed inwardly. But exposing them. Am I no better?
No.
This was survival. Justice. Back at the ranch. Security eyed me funny, Dad's hires. Loyal to him. I slipped into my office. Heart pounding. As a 20% owner. Firing me as VP didn't touch my shares. But they could freeze access. I downloaded everything, financials. Emails proving data fakes. One memo from Dad. Bury the failures. Stock must soar. My chest tightened. How could the man who taught me to ride also teach deceit? Travis cornered me at lunch. Sign yet. His smirk fueled my fire. Why the rush? I probed. He shrugged. Dad's vision.
Your
Complication.
inside.
Fury mixed with sorrow. We shared blood. Yet he saw me as threat. Why couldn't we build together? Afternoon brought bored whispers. Margaret Lee.
15% holder?
Messaged. Heard rumors. Call. James Harlan. 12%. Concerned about reports. They smelled rot. I met them virtually. Sharing snippets.
Fraud, I said.
Vote with me to oust. Doubt flickered. But evidence swayed. We need more, Margaret urged. The pension fund's 8%. Duped investors could tip it. I reached out anonymously. Check your due diligence. Paranoia grew. A truck tailing me on the highway. Dad's reach? Fear clawed. But resolve hardened. This wasn't revenge. It was redemption for the company. For the farmers we'd betray. Evening. Mom pulled me aside by the barn. Emily. Please sign. For peace. Her eyes pleaded. But I saw complicity. You knew. Silence. Betrayal deepened the ache. Why choose them over me? Always? Night fell. And I wrestled demons. What if I lost everything? But staying silent? Unthinkable. Alex texted. FBI tip ready?
Not yet.
Build the case. Next day. Chaos erupted. Dad called emergency board meet at the main house. I arrived. Contract and signed. You're out, he declared. But I stood tall. As shareholder, I demand audit. Murmurs. Travis sneered. Delusional. Inside. Pain surged. Why hate me so? I presented evidence. Falsified EPA reports. Offshore drains. This is fraud. Dad's face reddened. Lies. But seeds of doubt planted. Post-meet. Alone in my truck.
Tears came.
Not for them. But the girl who'd craved approval. Why did love feel conditional? I drove to Alex's hideout, a cabin in the Rockies. We go public tomorrow, he said. But doubt whispered. Was destruction the only path? Could forgiveness heal?
No.
Not without truth. The plan. Leak to Lena. Alert FBI. Force vote. But internally, conflict raged. You're becoming him, a voice mocked. Ruthless. No, I sought justice. Not power. Sleep evaded. Memories flooding. Dad's rare praise after my first harvest. Now tainted. Morning brought resolve. Laced with heavier emotion. This hurt more than anger. It was grief for what could have been. Lena's article dropped at noon. Carter AgriBio. Inflated claims. Hidden funds. Stock dipped 15%. Dad raged in calls. You, he accused. Me. I admitted inwardly. FBI agents arrived by afternoon. Warrants in hand. John Carter. You're under arrest for securities fraud. Travis bolted, but was caught. Mom wailed. Watching cuffs click. My heart shattered.
Prida? No.
Profound sadness. Why force this? In custody? Dad glared. You'll regret. But his eyes held flicker. Regret? Or illusion? Board reconvened virtually. With evidence, votes flipped. John and Travis removed. Emily interim CEO. Victory tasted bitter. Lives saved, farmers, employees, but at what cost? Internal storm intensified. Was I monster or savior? The humane path emerged. Rebuild with transparency. Perhaps offer olive branch later.
But now.
The weight crushed deeper. The days blurred into a haze of interrogations and boardroom battles, each moment amplifying the turmoil within me. Why did justice feel like self-inflicted wounds? As interim CEO, I stared at the ranch from my office window. The vast fields a reminder of dreams corrupted. Employees whispered. Stocks plummeted 30%. But we halted faulty seed distributions, saving countless farms from ruin. Yet, the victory hollowed me out. Mom visited that night, her face etched with exhaustion. How could you? She whispered. He's your father. Pain lanced through me. And I'm your daughter. Why never choose me? Tears welled. Unspoken hurt surfacing. She'd enabled it all, subtle digs. Favoritism. I thought it kept peace, she admitted. But peace at my expense? Internally, I grappled. Forgive her? Or let resentment fester? Humanity whispered yes. But betrayal screamed no. Alex uncovered more. Dad's insurance files, bribes to EPA officials, senators from western states. He owned them, Alex said. Dread mixed with sorrow. How deep the rot? I forwarded to FBI agent Maria Gonzalez. This changes everything, she replied. Raids followed, exposing a web of corruption in agribusiness. Headline screamed, Western ranch empire crumbles amid fraud. My name? Hero or villain? Travis called from jail. You happy now? His voice cracked. For the first time, I heard vulnerability.
No, I cum fa inwarli.
This breaks me too. Why couldn't he see me as ally? Childhood flashes, shared horseback rides. Before jealousy poisoned us.
Now.
Federal charges loomed, racketeering.
Wide fraud.
Legal clarity hit. Under U.S.
Code.
Fiduciary breaches allowed asset forfeiture. We'd recover siphoned funds legally. No vigilante justice. Board pushed for permanence. You've proven integrity, James said. But doubt plagued. Am I worthy? The emotional toll mounted, sleepless nights questioning every choice. Why did standing up feel like falling apart? Lena's series humanized it. Emily Carter, the daughter who chose truth over blood. Readers connected, sharing stories of family betrayals. It soothed.
Slightly.
A threat arrived, an anonymous note. You took ours. We'll take yours.
Brand ons
Travis's style. Fear gripped, but resolve deepened. Security ramped up. Internally, conflict peaked. Revenge cycle or break it? I chose the latter. Visited Mom. We can rebuild. She nodded.
Teary.
Small step, but humane. Trials loomed, evidence mounting. Dad's lawyer spun narratives, vendetta-driven fabrication. Witnesses, Mom, recanting later. A shrink I'd seen once for stress, a ex-colleague, Travis's plant. But our docs held, digital trails irrefutable. In court, I testified. Voice steady. Heart shattering. I love this company. Exposing fraud saved it.
Dad's gaze met mine defiance.
But undertone of pride? Illusion.
Perhaps.
Convictions came. Dad, 20 years. Travis, 12. No death penalties here, just justice. Mom, probation for accessory. The ranch felt emptier. Echoes of laughter gone. Grief overwhelmed. Why couldn't love prevail? But lesson emerged lightly. Integrity mends what greed breaks. I poured emotion into reforms. Transparent trials. Ethical sourcing. Stock stabilized. Trust rebuilt. One evening, alone under stars, tears flowed freely. The pain of loss sharper than triumph. Why did family bonds fray so? But in vulnerability, strength grew. This file's emotion? Raw. Deeper, grief eclipsing anger. Months passed, the ranch transforming under my lead. But the internal scars deepened, each day a battle against echoing voids. Why did salvation demand such sacrifice? We rebranded. Carter Sustainable Agri, tagline, truth in the soil. New labs buzzed with honest innovation. Yields up ethically. But nights brought hauntings. Dad's ultimatum replaying. Travis's smirk. Mom's pleas. Grief evolved into profound melancholy. Was this worth the loneliness? FBI closed the net. Bribed officials indicted. AG industries shaken. Your courage sparked reform, Agent Gonzalez said. Pulitzers for Lena. But I felt hollow. Visited Dad in federal pen first time. Why? I asked through glass. His eyes softened. Thought I protected the legacy. Regret? Missing you. Tears blurred. Forgiveness stirred. Not full. But seed planted. We can learn, I whispered inwardly. Humane ending beckoned. Travis refused visits. Bitterness festering. But a letter came. Hate you.
But.
Company thrives. Crack in armor? Emotion surged, hope amid despair. Mom moved back.
Tentative réconciliation.
I failed you, she admitted over coffee. Hugs followed. Healing fractures. Why hold grudges when time slips away? Threats persisted, shadowy figures near fences. Security caught one, hired by remnants of Dad's network. Fear intensified, but so did resolve. Won't hide, I told Alex. Now my COO. We expanded community programs, free seeds for small farms, education on sustainability. Lives touched, a farmer's thank you note. Your honesty saved my land. Tears flowed, purpose amid pain. Board made me permanent CEO, unanimously. Speech. We rise from ashes through truth. Applause. But inside, whirlwind, joy laced with sorrow for lost family. Lesson lightened. Family isn't blood alone, it's choices for good. Emotion peaked, melancholy profound, yet redemptive. A year on, the ranch bloomed anew, but my heart bore the deepest wounds yet. Each beat echoing irreparable loss mingled with quiet hope. Why does true change demand such soul-rending? We hit record profits ethically, partnerships with co-ops restoring faith. But solitude amplified, evenings alone, stargazing, questioning if isolation was the price of integrity. Dad's health failed in prison, letter arrived, proud, in twisted way. Forgiven old fool, visited, frail man before me. I do, I said, tears streaming. Let's rebuild what we can. He nodded, eyes misty. Release on parole loomed with good behavior, perhaps family dinners again.
Sans ultimatum.
Travis paroled early. Approached warily. Truce. Over beer. Stories shared, childhood pains aired. Jealous of you, he confessed. Laughter followed tears. Mom mediated. Bonds mending slowly. No empire fell completely. We saved it humanely. Threats faded as networks crumbled. Alex proposed, wedding on ranch, new beginnings. Lesson whispered, revenge destroys, compassion rebuilds. Emotion overwhelmed, profound joy from ashes. Deeper than prior pains. The ultimatum? Catalyst for growth. Family? Flawed. Endured through truth.